Monday morning, the United States House of Representatives started building support for a bill that would allow President Donald Trump to begin negotiations with Denmark over his acquisition of Greenland. As of filming, the Make Greenland Great Again Act has received 10 co-sponsors, and since Congress has control of the president's purse, that would essentially allow him to do whatever he wanted to do in the early stages, which he has just recently denied that he would not use military or economic force. So I think we're in for a wild ride. That being said, my name is Paul Timothy, and this is Politics, where I read the news so you don't have to. And also because I have no one else to talk to this stuff with, and I'm a nerd, and I really want to tell someone what I've learned. Now, you might remember in Trump's first term, he floated the idea of buying Greenland, which, just side note, we love territorial expansion here in the United States of America. I mean, that's just like our bread and butter. Nonetheless, that kind of fell through when the Prime Minister of Denmark called him absurd.
I thought it was a very not nice way of saying something. They could have told me no, we'd rather not do that, or we'd rather not talk about it. Don't say what an absurd idea that is.
Since not much has happened in regards to Greenland, until Trump started tweeting about it on Truth Social on Christmas Eve, which, you know what? My guy had a few wishes.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world.
And you might be thinking, Paul, how are they a threat to national security? Greenland has no military. They're culturally much different than America, so it's not like they're importing anything to us. And they're basically just a massive slab of ice. So for what reason do we need to annex them? To give the former and unfortunately future president the benefit of the doubt, I do want to talk about a few of the reasons why the United States might actually benefit from Greenland. I'm not saying that we should annex them or that they want to be. We'll get there. For one, Greenland is the home of the largest U.S. military base in the world, by mass at least. By population, I think that's in Korea. It's also the home of Space Force, and like they can see missiles and stuff. It's like the first response for the Guick Gap. There's a gap, and it's called Guick. I don't make this up. Secondly, Greenland is very rich in rare earth minerals, as well as a lot of oil, and drill, baby, drill, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna die. And third, building on that last point, you know how like everyone doesn't want to believe climate change is real, which, you know what, it's fake news. I mean, if you ask me. Nonetheless, Greenland is melting, so it's just like, it's happening, and not because of us at all. There's nothing that we could have done to stop this or slow this in any capacity. But so keeping that in mind, Greenland is melting 30 million tons of ice every hour. And what is ice made of, my friends? Water. And when you have ice melting and it becomes water, right, there are new trade routes being discovered and being created because there are more watery pathways where ships can shippity through. And if there's one thing that I learned watching Star Wars or Dune, it's that the flow of spice, whoever controls that has a lot of power. And so in the simplest terms possible, if we have Greenland, we control the right trade routes. And the United States is not the only player in this whole thing. Both Russia and China have had a vested interest in acquiring or having some, influence in Greenland. China even going as far as to starting to build an airport using Chinese manufacturing. But that was stopped, if I'm not mistaken, because the United States made a call to Denmark. An important thing to remember in regards to this conflict is that Greenland, yes, technically is an autonomous nation, but it is also owned by Denmark. The Greenlandic parliament controls more domestic policy, whereas Denmark controls foreign policy, the military, blah, 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 blah. At the same time, though, an important thing to remember is that the Inuit people have long expressed wanting to cede the ties to Denmark because of colonial action. A recent poll showing that over 65% of Greenlandic people want independence from Denmark. The unfortunate reality is that we can't take anything on face value. You see that they want independence, and I know in America we think freedom, independence, and that's an American trait, but that's not directly just America. There are a lot of free countries in the world, but pundits like Charlie Kirk and Elon Musk are taking that independence poll as they want to join America. Elon Musk tweeting, if the people of Greenland want their territory to join America, we should accept them. And even though all 5 parties of Greenlandic parliament have opposed joining the United States of America, Elon Musk's favorite, let's just say NAI on Twitter, Ian Miles Chong, says, lol, they don't have a choice in this. So that's great. I really, 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 really hope we're not going to war over Greenland. I'm sorry. I don't love that. I don't really want to die over Greenland. I don't know about you guys. I'm just going to throw this out there. I highly doubt that if the Greenlandic people want independence from Denmark, the socialists and hippies over at Denmark, they're gonna love the United States, right? It doesn't make any, especially when we're gonna go in there and we're gonna drill you to the ground. I'm sorry, it's just not, it's not happening. And you might be saying, Paul, well, didn't you see Donald Trump Jr. go there on his totally not, psyop trip there, totally planned beforehand? I mean, look, this is a lot of Trump hats in Greenland.
Sailing around, and they're not the right ships. And they're not the ships you want to know about.
They're not the right ships. They're not the right ships. And Charlie Kirk is just being as gross as ever in this clip. But nonetheless, if there's one thing that the Trumps love to do, it's make a scene. And as it turns out, according to DR News, Donald Trump Jr. and Charlie Kirk and Sergio Gore were outside handing out Trump hats to the homeless and disenfranchised, offering them dinner at the hotel that video was filmed at, essentially paying them as extras. It's just infuriating to me that, like, these people who are victims of systemic oppression are being trotted out as a way to manufacture consent on Fox News to invade Greenland. It's sickening to me.
Welcome back. Thanks for watching. Leaders in Greenland say they're ready to talk to President-elect Trump as he...
Just because they're ready to talk does not mean that they want to join the United States. I swear to God, these people are so stupid. We're just manufacturing consent for the needless war possible, the most needless war possible.
Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that...
You know what I love about this? Donald Trump, unironically, now has my border policy. Why even deport everyone? Why run for years talking about how we got to deport everyone if we're just going to take all the countries that we want to deport them to? I mean, honestly, maybe this is a nice change of heart. Maybe he just doesn't want borders. I highly doubt that, but maybe he just was like, you know what? Maybe I was being a little too racist, and now I'm turning it around. Though at the same time, though, I don't think he's expressed interest in Mexico, which maybe he should get on that. I mean, we could just be one massive world order. Oh no!
I love it. I love the way Donald Trump thinks. It's proactive. It causes you to think, well, and you know what? I'm fascinated to see what the people of Greenland think.
Mm-hmm. They already told you. They already told you. They already told us. They already told us. All five parties of parliament said they do not want to be part of the United States. What about that is not getting through your thick skulls? It's insane. I'm sorry. We live in such a weird world. Like, I'm sure there is a swaths of opinion in Greenland. I mean, there has to be. It's not a monolithic group of people. But at the same time, come on. That's unacceptable. The Prime Minister has routinely said that they are open for business, but not for sale. And reiterated that they don't want to be Danes, they don't want to be Americans, they want to be Greenlandic. Every day that I read the news, I am constantly taken aback by how little we seem to learn as a human species. You know, we are constantly reminded about the cruelty that we are willing to do and the threats that we are willing to put on each other and other nations at the behest of profit and shareholders. I assure you that if it wasn't for the trade routes or it wasn't for the oil, we would not care about Greenland. And I highly doubt that Donald Trump is sitting there in Mar-a-Lago thinking about the Inuit people and the crimes that the Danish government has done to them and thinking, wow, we're going to free them from them. No, that's not what's I'm sorry. That ain't what happening. That's not what happened. That's not what's happening at all, okay? And it's increasingly ironic that Donald Trump ran as the anti-war president, claiming that Biden is the reason we have conflicts all around the world, which kind of, yeah, it's Biden. But at the same time, before he's even in office, trying to take Canada, Greenland, and the Panama. It's just disgraceful to watch the media spend years rightfully criticizing Putin for the annexation of Ukraine and sit and laugh at Trump's threats. Thankfully, there are roadblocks, and that is Congress, though, as we talked about at the beginning of this video, that may be changing soon. We need to remember our humanity in these conflicts, and I hope and pray that the Trump administration helps the Greenlandic people thrive economically without the need to buy them out. I do think that all of this, world pressure and spotlight on Greenland is good. I think that they need to be able to break free from Denmark if they don't want to be part of that coalition anymore. But at the same time, that does not mean they want to be Americans. To wrap up, my concern kind of comes down to Donald Trump Jr. and Elon Musk planting these seeds into the American people's minds that don't really watch the news that often. You know what I mean? Like, they don't read Associated Press. They're not reading Reuters. They don't really know what's going on in regards to Greenlandic people. They just see this video being like, wow, they love Trump over there. Yeehaw, or whatever. I don't think that is going to really be great. You know, I hope that we're not manufacturing consent for a needless conflict, that really we have good partnerships with them. We could just continue being a partner. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of dumb. Anyways, to wrap up, that's all I really have to say. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, which you are new because it's the first video on this channel. So yeah, go do that because I'll be making more of these as soon as I possibly can. So thank you. Have a fantastic rest of your day.